Good evening. I've had a few requests after posting the pictures and the files for my 4-foot Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Daisy. This is my first time making a tutorial video, so please bear with me. So you want to make sure that you're logged in. You're going to go to your Insert Images, and you're going to choose the image that you're wanting to increase the size of and break apart. And apparently my internet's going to be a little bit slow this evening. Okay, so I've already chosen the character that I'm going to increase and break apart this evening. So I've got the code already, so I'm just going to put the code in here and we're going to wait for her to come up. So then you just select her and press Insert Images. So once your image loads to the screen, first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into the Edit, and you're going to go into the height, and you're going to put in the equivalent to how big you want your character to be. So the equivalent to 4 feet is 48 inches, so I'm just going to put that in here and let her grow. And then I'm going to scroll all the way up here. And then next what you're going to do is you're going to ungroup, and then you're going to go and find your base, which is the black background. And you're just going to pull it completely away from the rest of it. And then what I always do is insert a square. Okay, so once your square is there, you're going to want to go into Edit, and you're going to want to change the square to 11.75. Seeing how your mat won't cut a true 12 by 12, you don't want to make your square 12 by 12 inches. So then what I do is I just duplicate it a whole bunch of times. So there's not really a set amount of squares you're going to need, so I just duplicate it a whole bunch of times. Once I get down to one, if I need more, I'll just duplicate it some more. So I'm just going to start with her outfit here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take away this little piece up here, and you simply just slice it. Okay, and then you want to get rid of the square, and then you want to get up here and you're going to highlight the sliced image because you want to maintain your original piece. Okay, and you just go simply grab another piece and you just kind of put it where it's going to fit as much onto one square as possible. Let it slice. Again, you're going to want to get rid of the excess square. I'm not sure why it's not deleting here. Okay, there it goes. Okay, and then delete again the square so that you're leaving behind that. And then what I do is I just move this down a bit, go grab another square, and you're going to want to again fill as much of the square as possible, and you're going to slice again. And just to make sure you're getting the right piece, you can always move it away, and you want to put that back and make sure that it's the sliced square you're taking away. And then again, just move this down a bit. And again, it's simply just highlight as much of it you can with the square and slice. Okay, and then move this up here It's easier if you leave a little bit of a gap when you're trying to piece it together after it's all cut. You're going to piece it together like a jigsaw puzzle, so you want to make sure that you leave a little bit of space between your cut pieces, so then that way it's easier to find a piece, because you want to make sure that like your pieces are different size and different kind of dimensions. Sometimes it's easier if you leave a little bit of this space right here. It helps with putting it together in the end. And again, so we're just going to cut this one. Move these back up here and space them out a bit. And then what I do is I will regroup my liked colors, and then I just move them back over here, and then take the next piece, bring it back over here, and we'll start at the top. And sometimes it's easier if you move your piece to the front, and then that way you can see where you're placing it on the actual square. And then again, we're just going to continue to slice these pieces. Okay, so I've just gone ahead and actually paused it for a few minutes and went ahead and sliced this piece all up. And again, you just group it and you just place it back over here. And then you go for the next piece, which is going to be difficult to grab now that I'm just going to look for her gloves. Alright, so I'm going to take those, but let me highlight them here. Okay, so I'm just going to maybe rebuild her over here for a little bit. About in there, I guess is where that should sit. And we'll grab her gloves, and because they're already smaller than a 12 by 12, as is her head and as is her bust. But okay, so I guess that's all we need to do at this point with this portion of her. So I'm just going to kind of set this back over here a little bit. There we go. Oh, her gloves, where did they go? There they are. Okay. It's not a perfect science. Just put these back here, and we'll put this back here, and then you're going to do the exact same thing with the shadowy part. So what I do is just kind of move it down a bit, and then I usually start at the top, and again, sometimes it's easier if you do move the item you're breaking apart to the front, and that way you have an idea of how much space you have at the top. Okay, so again, we're just going to slice it apart here. And get rid of the grayed areas. I'm just going to move it up here a bit, grab my next square and bring it over and slice. And then again, you're going to want to make it so that you can see how your pieces are joined together, so when you're putting the puzzle together after you got it all cut, you can see which piece goes where. And just little gaps is really all you need. And I don't want to catch that second piece, so I'm just going to move this over here a bit. And I try to fill as much of the square as possible with as much of the background as possible, due to the fact that it does unfortunately waste a lot of cardstock when you're using 12 by 12 pieces. And we just continue to slice until you're complete. Move that one up. Okay, so we're going to do that piece there. And again, you just continue to slice all the way through until you're completed. I'm not sure why this is giving me such a difficult time this evening. Put that up there. I'm just going to grab this, that. And as you can see, some pieces waste a lot more cardstock than others. And in doing this, the undo button can be your best friend at times. I've accidentally deleted the wrong piece a couple of times, and you just undo it and it brings it back, thank goodness. Or if you find that when you've sliced the piece and it's left a little tiny bit behind and you want to fit that in to the square, you can just undo your slice and try it again. And I think I put a little bit too many squares on this one. She didn't need to be split apart as much. So because I don't want to leave just this little tiny piece, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and just take about probably half this so that there's a bigger piece. I don't like little tiny pieces in my puzzles. They get lost too easily. And then you just kind of move up your final pieces. They're sitting there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and highlight all these and get rid of them all. And then I'm going to highlight this silhouette and group it together. And you kind of just bring them up together a little bit, bring her over. And you save your project, and the 4-foot Elsa doll is complete. Okay, so I'm just going to name her 4-foot Elsa. Okay, and then you'll see your project is successfully saved, and it'll have the name you've named it up there, and that's it. That's how you increase the size of your images to 4 feet or however big you want them to be, and simply use squares and break them apart. Remember, your squares should be only about 11.75 inches, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you've learned a lot from it. Thank you and have a great evening.